Hello. I am so excited today. I have with me Christine Campbell Rapin, sorry. Christine Campbell Rapin, and she is one of the experts who is giving away some of her best content in the attracting high ticket clients giveaway. So Christine, thank you so much for joining me and tell me about your free gift for people who join the giveaway.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be part of this because I love people who get out of bed to create impact. And that's ultimately what a high ticket client is looking for. But one of the biggest challenges I see is that people get really focused on either not knowing what rooms to be in to identify a high ticket potential buyer, or when you're there, that the audience building is the goal. And I said, my truth will tell you that it's not about audience building. You can't be the best kept secret, to be fair, but you have to be able to identify who's a buyer. And so that's what I'm giving away in this giveaway. It is a resource about how to build an audience of buyers, because without that, you don't have the economic engine to create the impact you got out of bed for. And it's exciting. It's really elegantly simple, but it's a giant mystery to most.
And I love that because it is so true. You could have a massive audience, a massive following, but if none of them are buyers, you don't have a business.
Mm-hmm.
So talk a little bit more about what that looks like for people.
100%. I think it's so true because we really get focused on the vanity metrics. We get focused on doing the tasks. I said the task is not a volume thing, especially in the world of high ticket. It is about the right people seeing value, creating value, and connecting to you. And I tell people all the time, like there's 3 lanes of traffic in the audience, and so many businesses are stalled in the wrong lane. I tell them the slow lane is people who are like, I'm aware of something, but it's not relevant to me. And so a lot of people in their audience building and their visibility strategy is like, I'm trying to convince you that this is a problem, wake up. And I'm like, they have zero interest in moving and zero interest in buying. And you will exhaust yourself in that lane. And I will tell you that's 90% of what I see clients really, really stuck with. So get out of the slow lane. That is the longest path to cash out there. If you have tenacity and a bankroll, perfect. But otherwise, danger zone, get out. The middle lane, I always tell people, is people are problem aware. They're potential buyers. And they're someone who says, I know I have a problem. I repeat the pattern more than once. I understand the consequences, and I have some motivation to eventually get out of this. That ebb and flows, though, because people white knuckle their way through problems all the time. But you have to be able to see it, the pattern itself. You have to be able to disrupt it. And you have to be able to know how to plant the seed to get them to move. And movement is everything. And that's where you'll build your business. But that piece of the puzzle, most people are like sounding like everybody else and they're lost in the sea. We got to get you out of that. But then the third lane is somebody who's like, I've already tried everything free. I still have the problem. I know I need experts to help me. And I've probably already started to identify potential people I'm observing as potential candidates. They're the unicorn client. They're the ones you feel like I haven't talked to in a while, but they've been following. And the moment you say something, they're like, I want to hire you. You can create more unicorns, but you have to have a strategy to do it so that people really see you as the must hire. And they have identified themselves as a buyer. So when you look in that framework, I say to people, the buyer behavior is really important to understand. And then in the giveaway, what I'm saying is, how do you go find them? And then how do you move somebody from curiosity to paid client? And movement is everything.
And that is so powerful because I think a lot of people, like we all got into business, like you said, we want to create impact, we want to help people. But a lot of people really hate the idea of sales. And by moving people into the fast lane, when you have that conversation with them, it's not even really a sales conversation. It's just kind of order taking because they've already made up their mind. That is so powerful.
It's so fun, honestly. Like this should be your norm. And that's, I think, also some people are like, Christine, I said, when people say, especially in the world of high ticket, I had the $10,000 month, I'm making 100,000 launches, whatever. I always say to people, that's only possible when you've already built the foundation of the buyer. Without that, it doesn't pop. It doesn't move. But it is about strategy. And the great thing about it, I will tell you, if even you're starting to think, gosh, that sounds like smart stuff. but a little bit like work. I will tell you, it's actually elegantly simple. And you and I know this. We've been friends for a while. I said, I will tell you, the simpler you can make it, the more easier you can implement it. That's why these tools are practical in nature, and they're tools that work. I will tell you the reason you want these, I use them in my business, but more importantly, my clients use them in theirs. And we were just reflecting, because we're coming out kind of the back half of the first year, my clients using these tools, using these strategies, using the roadmap that you're going to get out of the tools I'm gifting, they've created more than $500,000 in revenue this year in the climate that we're all in. It's foundational pieces. Simplify it so you can implement it, because the knowledge is there. I want you to do something with it, because honestly, I want you to go love those people who say, tell me what it's like to work with you. And you're like, tell me what results you're looking for and why am I the right person? And if that feels like a good synergy, make the offer.
That is powerful. And I love that you've got people who are making money this year, because sometimes I'll see experts promoting something that worked in 2018, and we all know the world has changed so much. So the fact that you've got people who are using it today and getting results is really exciting to me.
Well, and this is the key thing, and this is where I'm going to just own that confidence. I've built businesses for more than 25 years. I've helped a lot of clients create growth, and these are skills that will work in any climate. And I said, it is about really getting past the sizzle, because the audience that is sizzling at you is not the buyer. And if we can really get our head around that, and I said, the great thing about high ticket is that you do not need to serve 8 billion people on the planet. You need to serve a very small group of them. But that really small group need to see you. They need to connect to you. They need to trust you. And there's ways you can create that simply, without complicated funnels, without complicated tech. And this is the roadmap you're going to get, because this is really what I built in my business. And I say, honestly, it's way more fun, but it works when you work it.
I love that, because I think probably a lot of people watching this have had some success, but they're not actually sure where it came from. Like, it was kind of luck. And having a system so that you can manufacture that consistently and bring in these ideal clients really does help people get off that roller coaster of, like, oh, I got a client. Oh, now I have nothing. Now, like, it's frustrating when you kind of don't know where these clients are coming from. And then being able to switch it to, okay, now I know how to create this audience of buyers, like you say, and then have a steady stream of income. It's much easier to continue your business. It's much easier to run your business. And like you said, it's more fun. It's more fun when you're not worried about whether or not you can pay your electricity bill next month.
Well, and it's really knowing, I really, honestly, it's understanding the rules of the game. And I think sometimes we don't. And I will just say, well, instead of you figuring them out, I will just tell you, it's been 30 years figuring them out. Just ask me, because I will lay the land for you. And the truth really is, as I always say to people, I don't really care what your number is in terms of your own lifestyle goals. Everybody's are different. My job is never to judge it. My goal and what I do as a mentor is to say, how do we get you there repeatedly? And how do we build the lifestyle you want so you actually have the business to support the lifestyle? And that's why we talk about skill being different things. We talk about how do you build the foundations and how do you leave the engine running and how do you build momentum, because momentum is what builds the everything, or movement builds the momentum. And I said, it's easier to stay in motion. Like, this is just a physics thing that I remember somebody saying to me many years ago, what was the difference between my success versus others? And I said, I built my first business an hour a day. And I knew what to focus on in that 1 hour. It's some of the things you're going to hear about in this giveaway and the resources when you download them. So I knew what to focus on, knowing who to attract, what to say, and how to move them is a skill. You need to learn the skill. And that means if your business evolves, which it will, you can evolve with it, which means I have confidence. I know how to make good decisions. And that's, to me, when people say long-term, I said, I hope the biggest thing you go is, I could see it, I could execute it, and I made good decisions based on the facts that I saw. And if it didn't work, I was confident to adjust. Not to change the destination, but to adjust. And that's why you're going to have 25 ways to build the audience. And some of them might change for you over the years. but you're like, I know who I'm calling.
That is amazing. And I loved one of the things you said about that it's a skill, because I
Mhm.
think a lot of people worry that, being able to make sales, large sales to high ticket clients is something that you're either born with or you're not.
Mhm.
And knowing that it's a skill is something that you can learn. And yes, some people are naturally better at it than others, but it is something that you can learn and you can master, and you can repeat once you learn that skill. And I think that's really exciting to me, the idea that people can just learn this and then get good at it.
Yeah, and I will tell you one of my, and it is a skill. Like I grew up, in this is where my skill set is very unique in the mentorship space because I've been in marketing, sales, ops, and people management. So I've done all elements of it. And the interesting thing though, when I started to move and started to change my service offering, I had unicorns popping up in my field, which were that fast lane. And I kept saying like, I came here to do X, and they're like, I want to hire you. I was like, and I bumbled it. I made a mess of it. So just also beware. I was a skill in progress, and it's always in progress. But it comes down to the certainty of creating value. And if you're going to want to play in this space, I tell people all the time in my personal business, I said, I choose to create value. And that's how I scale. And I will give lots of information for free because I honestly want you to succeed. These are great resources. You can take them and run. But also will tell you knowing how to implement them and having thinking partners is going to help you because we all have blind spots. And I said, I bumbled into a lot of things and went, I need to master that skill because this was awful and I don't want to feel like this again as I'm paddling hard uphill.
Well, and then also some of these skills, they look simple on the surface, but then as you grow, as you get better at implementing, there's always new things to learn
Mhm.
around these foundational skills. And that's why you start and then you keep growing. And that's why having a mentor and somebody help you is so valuable. But you can even start with the free resource.
Yes.
So, building an audience of buyers, it is one of many amazing resources in the Attracting High Ticket Clients giveaway. So I'll have the link down below. Sign up, put your name and email, and make sure you get Christine's Building an Audience of Buyers resource. You are going to love it. And make sure you check out everybody else's resources. I guarantee you're going to find something that's going to help you take your business to the next level. Christine, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and joining me here today.
Thank you for having us. It's a great thing. Grab your link down below.